Got an interview coming up to land your dream job? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to nail that interview and land that gig. Let's get started. Here's my first piece of advice for how to nail a job interview. First and foremost, you want to know how to answer interview questions properly in a way that paints a vivid picture of what you bring to the table to the person and the employer that's interviewing you. My number one piece of advice is to be specific and not vague when you're answering interview questions. So that means really giving detailed examples. Talk about the number of years or the number of projects that you've done in that criteria. You can also talk about the value of what those projects were and what the end result was or was not because of the actions that you took. Without going on too much of a tangent, you really want to hit home fast and hard on exactly what you've done and how it affected your work and the quality and quantity of what you've accomplished in the past. The way that you could prepare for this type of question and answer is to list out the different projects that you've been on in the past and talk about how long they took and what the outcomes were, and if applicable, add the monetary value or the total project value of what the job entailed. So the second way to really nail an interview is to be totally cognizant of your body language. So first of all, you want to roll your shoulders back and down and stay in that posture for as much as possible. The other thing you want to do is keep your shoulders square to the interviewer. And in general, having good posture will help here as well. Another way you can do that is by rolling your hips forward, kind of tilting and sticking your belly button out so that you are leaning in and really showing true engagement into the conversation that you're having. You want to maintain eye contact for as much as possible. Try to have a relaxed smile on your face. And it can really help to just mirror the interviewer's body language. However, if they're perpetually looking down at a piece of paper or looking off camera, if it's a remote job interview, be sure to just maintain eye contact with the camera or maintain eye contact with them so that when they do look up from their camera or from their paperwork they're looking at, look into the camera and look at you, you're there, you're ready to engage in a face-to-face contact with them. Overall, you just want to exude confidence and a sense of relaxation during the interview. Even if you don't feel all that relaxed, try to convey that you are confident and skilled and really bring a lot to the table through your body language. So the third thing I want to mention is be aware of the location of your interview well in advance. So this is applicable whether it's a physical in-person interview or a remote interview. Either way, no matter where the interview takes place, you want to try on the outfit that you're going to wear on the day prior to the interview. You want to make sure it's comfortable, that you feel confident in it, and that you're not going to have any wardrobe malfunctions. Obviously, sometimes things come up. You might have a spill on your shirt, what have you, but if you can at least be prepared for what the outfit will feel like and how you feel in it prior to sitting down for the interview, that's one less thing that you're going to be thinking about instead of trying to answer the questions to the best of your ability. If it is a remote interview and it's on a platform that you're familiar with and confident with and you already have maybe downloaded on your computer, open it up, make sure everything's functioning properly. Try and start, if it's in Zoom, you can try and start a dry one-person meeting and make sure your camera's functioning properly. You can screen record, make sure your microphone's functioning properly. You just don't want to run into any technical glitches if at all possible for a remote interview. For an in-person interview, you want to find it on your Google Maps or on your Apple Maps. You want to find that exact location and maybe even scout it out the day before if time permits. You just want to really be comfortable and confident in knowing where you're going to go on that day. And of course, arrive with plenty of time should you get lost. Now, here's another huge factor to being really prepared in advance for the interview. This is absolutely key, so pay close attention. What you want to do is research the organization, the company, the job description as much as you possibly can. Cross-reference the job description with job descriptions for those jobs that might be on your resume or jobs you've done in the past. You want to be checking for corresponding skills and contributions that you've made into past jobs that match up closely, or at least can be transferred from a past job to this job easily. Research everything you can about the company, their products, and their services, and what they bring to the table. Check the news that may have involved this organization, and really be dialed into what's happening currently and what's been done in the past that sparks your attention and sparks your interest and is something that you're excited about. And another key thing to bring to your interview or have on hand when you're sitting down for an interview is a copy of the application, of your resume, your cover letter, and any other relevant documents that have been submitted in the past and you think may come up again. Who knows, maybe the interviewer doesn't have them on hand or wants to double check or their printer's broken, what have you. If you have it right there with you, you're just as prepared as you could possibly be. Now, circling back to the how to answer interview questions piece. Employers almost always ask about what is a weakness of yours, and this is a really tricky question to navigate. One key tip I have here is to mention a weakness that isn't a core function of the job. So you really want to make sure that when you mention a weakness, that you're quickly going into how you're going about working on actively improving that weakness. You can also talk about how you've evolved in this certain category in the past and improvements you've made so far. And you could talk about what those improvements on that particular weakness have resulted in and the impact it's made, given that you have made a certain amount of improvement in that category. And be sure to use the phrase, for example, often throughout your interview answers. Answer the question and then dive into, for example, XYZ. And the last thing you should remember when you're headed into this big interview is that the interviewer is a person and they're not a barrier between you and your ultimate goal. Keeping that in mind will help you relax, be confident, and understand that they're not trying to trick you. They're not trying to get you to answer the question incorrectly. They want you there. They're hiring for this position and they clearly need someone to fill this role. They just want to make sure that you have what it takes to think on your feet sometimes, to be confident, and that you know exactly what this job entails and how you would be a good fit for it. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I hope these tips and tricks help you out, and good luck out there. We'll see you next time.